What's up, man? Happy
Hello,
Thanksgiving late, but how's your Saturday going?
It's been a good one. Hanging out with family and watching some rivalry college football, which is I say this every week, the past few weeks here, but rival this week is a great week of football, but it means it's coming to an end. So
Yeah, that is
it's
sad.
been good. Yeah.
That is sad. Yeah, it's been an incredible week. Obviously, this will be I'm not going to say it's going to be my only Eagles rabbit trail, but it's been a miserable weekend of football in a lot of ways, but it's been a good weekend of just some awesome games to watch. So you love that. I don't know, man. I like that longer intro video for and this is housekeeping. Probably shouldn't even be saying this right now, but sharing it, posting things. Yeah, you like the longer video, but we'll figure it out.
It's been rapid fire.
Yeah, it does. It comes up on you quick. But anyway, welcome to the Sideline Podcast. My name is Kevin Showalter. That is Jared Booker right there, coming at you with episode 61. If you love football, talking sports, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Give us a comment on X for more content like this. Yeah, we're excited for tonight. We've got some TSP Walk Ons, our first international walk on, and a few folks predicting the Iron Bowl, which again, we are already into the second quarter, but we'll see what kind of predictions we've got. We're going to react to college football, go over some of our top storylines in the game this week. Like you said, it's sad that it's coming to an end. We will be previewing championship weekend. The funny thing with that is there's so many things still uncertain that we're going to do our best to do it justice, but we might need a follow-up video, you and I, to do that full justice when we know all the teams that are going to be in those games. We've got ALO's A team, and then we'll finish up with our NFL predictions. So, without further ado, here's our TSP Walk Ons for this week.
A better team than Auburn. So, guys, how's it going? Leo here, all the way from Brazil. It's been a very interesting season for Alabama so far, to say the least, you know. But I still think they are a way better team than Auburn. So for the Iron Ball, give me the Crimson Tide beating the Tigers 24-14.
My name is Travion Ware, reporter journalist with the Voice of College Football Network covering Alabama football. And this weekend, I'm teaming up with my guys from the Sideline Podcast now to get to the Iron Ball on Saturday. Alabama versus Auburn. Uh, a win would send Alabama to the SEC championship, just like a win would send Texas A&M to the SEC championship. And I believe that is what will happen. So I am going with the Crimson Tide over the Auburn Tigers inside of Jordan Hare Stadium on Saturday on rivalry weekend. I believe Ty Simpson in the Crimson Tide offense will be too much for that Tigers defense. So I'm going to go with the score of 27-21. Alabama over Clemson 27-21. Hope everyone has a blessed and safe weekend.
Thinking is my prediction for this Auburn-Alabama game. 1, is it Jordan Hare? 2, we're playing at night. Those things combined with the atmosphere and the way Auburn's been playing great defense. We have no head coach. We have nothing to lose. I see Auburn going 24-17. War Damn Eagle.
Let's go,
boy.
man. Oh,
I love that.
And your video earlier today, Booker, of 2 words for you, deuce and night. They clearly the Auburn brass was not listening to you on that prediction. But Ashton Daniels is starting for Auburn tonight. They're already down 17-0, so that's not looking so good for Auburn. But any thoughts on this game so far before we jump right into our storylines?
17-0, man.
They're driving.
That's rough. They're driving?
They're driving. They're under review right now. I think they're in the red zone. I looked away for a second. Something's under review. Targeting Alabama under review. So I think they're in the red zone. So
yeah, 2nd and 6 on the Alabama 9. They might be able to put if they could put some points on the board here before halftime and hold Alabama and potentially get the ball back. I don't know who received the first, the kickoff, but I mean, if they can score here, they're still in this, but not looking good right off the bat.
Yeah, we'll see. So, all right, let's jump. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Who's got a storyline to kind of kick us off? It's been a heck of a weekend of football so far. There's so much. I mean, we could talk the entire show on just college football reactions because I feel like there's so much happening this weekend. Starting last night, I guess we could throw the Duffy here with the Texas A&M fan and just not the loss of the weekend, but maybe. But how we doing? Is that still a sore spot, or have you recovered from that loss?
It's a slight sore spot. The good news is they expanded the playoff. They're still going to get in. It'll be fine, but definitely it hurts the ego. Got into it on Twitter a little too much last night, but they took Barstool UT took a shot at one of my really good friends, so I could not let that go. Let that go unmatched.
That's right.
That's fair. As long as TSP was not attached by any.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Do not tag us in your Twitter.
It was all me.
It was all Duffy.
And a big one that I thought we were going to have a decision by now. I don't know what Lane Kiffin is doing, but he was supposed to break his news at 5:55. So we just had breaking news from TSP podcast here, but that's not the case. He's still doing I guess the decision is made, just final meetings or something. I'm curious, do you think depending how this Alabama game shakes out, because I believe if Bama loses, then Ole Miss would be in the championship game. If Alabama wins, they're not. And so part of me was thinking that, okay, if he has a chance to coach in the SEC championship game, but I think he's going to LSU. What do you guys think? You think he's sticking around, or is he taking the bigger job?
I think he's gonna take the bigger job. I think ultimately Lane is 100% about Lane, and you can't fault the guy for like wanting to progress in his career. But I don't know, the timing of it all is pretty rough. The distraction that it is for Ole Miss and the incredible year that they're having. It's unfortunate timing, but it's just the nature of the game. I do think he goes to LSU, and I think that's I think it's an astute pickup on your part. Like, wait and see what happens here in this Alabama game here to see, how things play. How at what point they want to roll that news out. It may not even be an issue. They're going to the playoff no matter what. But as far as that SEC championship game, so what say you, Duff?
I agree with Kevin. I think that the decision will not come out until later if Bama loses here, which it doesn't look like they're going to. Auburn's about to kick a field goal that ended up getting in. But I wish for Lane's sake, I think he's had a lot of problems. I think Oxford has worked out really well for him. I like Lane. I know that's kind of unpopular. A lot of people don't like him, especially down here. But
yeah,
I like him. I wish for his sake he would stay at Ole Miss, but I agree with y'all. I think he will take LSU, and I think it'll come out as soon as the Iron Bowl ends here. And honestly, I think for LSU's sake, one, you hire the guy. The portal's open right now. You want him to start recruiting. You want him to get after it.
Yeah.
And from Ole Miss's side, you also don't want that guy in your building anymore if he's gone. So I think if that comes out tonight, I don't think he'll go to the college football playoff.
Yeah.
So,
Booker, was it you that posted that poll earlier on should he coach it, or was that some other account?
No, I posted that. I did not end up getting to see with the results of that. Did you see the consensus on that?
No, I didn't. I can pull that up here, but yeah, I think that is. I was curious when I saw it of like, hey, would he coach in? I mean, I don't know. I get the argument for not having him coach, but a shot to win a national championship. It seems like, this isn't the Cotton Bowl where, hey, better luck next year with that. But you think with the Natty, the quarterback they got playing for him, I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out. But I think there's probably an element of, hey, if you're moving on, you're not going to linger around and say, hey, we're gonna keep kicking this down the road. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure.
Those the Rebs, the players are the ones that suffer with all of that mess. So that's just I don't know. That's rough for me. Hey, what do you boys think? I'm waiting for those poll results, but what do you boys think about Texas? What do you think about Texas? Now, not how you feel about Texas after last night. I'm talking overall resume, 3-loss, Texas going to the college football playoff. I will give you my opinion, but I'd love to hear both of y'all's opinion on whether you think they belong there as a 3-loss team.
I can lead this one off, I guess. I'm in the middle of the whole thing. But I think they're absolutely a top 12 team in the country. I think that team quality-wise, they're probably in the top 7.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you have to draw the line somewhere. You're going to have 2-loss Vandy now. And I understand the argument Sark's been making, and a lot of the people over there have been making that, well, you can't punish us for scheduling Ohio State, but also you could have scheduled Ohio State and beat Florida in early October.
Yeah.
So It sucks that I don't think they will get in, but it's kind of – if you handled your business the way you should have, you would have gotten in. So
yeah. This screams like Alabama last year, where it's like, hey, you didn't get in, but you didn't handle your business when you should have. And I can't remember where I heard it or listening to it, but those initial rankings, like it's hard to move up. Like, what are they going to do? Just all of a sudden vault you up? Now they beat the number 3 team in the country. So like that does matter. But yeah, that Florida loss is tough. I saw a funny thing on the internet of like, Sark was going off about their schedule to start the year, and it was like Ohio State, yes, and then 3 straight cupcakes after that. So it's like, yes, there's an argument there. Yeah, I think they are one of the best teams, but that doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to get in under the current formatting, So that's my thoughts. What you sound? Oh, I've got this poll for you before you take yours. Looking like 53.8% is no, he should not coach in the playoffs. So I think consensus is mostly with you guys and on that. So
yeah, I appreciate you following up on that. I agree with what you guys said. Without that Florida loss, we're not having this conversation. but man, they are a better product. They are a better product than some teams that are going to make it in, and it's unfortunate they couldn't. They had an off week against a Florida team that honestly, like, they've looked pretty solid at points during the year, and they just played lights out against Texas, and Texas had a down game.
Yeah.
But to miss out on the product that they can put on the field, and you're talking about the type of money that Texas brings. It's just, not that it's all about that. I don't know. I think we're missing out if Texas isn't in there, and you put someone in there like Notre Dame. But anyway, I digress.
Well, I posted earlier the Spider-Man GIF with, like, the two Spider-Men shooting at each other, but it's like that to me is it. It was something along the lines of, which money-making school are you going to put in? I don't think that both Notre Dame and Texas are going to get in, and they already have Notre Dame ranked higher. I'd be shocked if they jumped ahead of them. So,
Yep.
I'll keep it in the SEC here. Did y'all watch the Egg Bowl?
I watched the Egg Bowl.
Bits of it. I didn't catch the whole thing.
Kevin, there was a little fight towards the end of the first half, and that was the most one-sided fight I have ever seen in my entire life. So the whole Mississippi State sideline comes onto the field. They're like riled up, yelling, and Ole Miss just has 11 guys standing in the middle. So it was just like a circle of Mississippi State trying to fight, plus the guys that were just on the field for Ole Miss. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever witnessed watching college football.
Yeah.
I watched that as well. I threw a little jab out there because Lane Kiffin at the end of he's being interviewed for the 15th time since the game started, and he's talking about, well, my guys, we stayed on the sideline like we're supposed to. I threw a little jab out there. I was like, well, it was your guy, Daquan Wright, that I think was instigating that whole thing. But ultimately, the fact that the entire bench cleared, Mississippi State just going out there to try to, hit some people with some cowbells. But that was an odd scene. It was an odd scene.
Yeah. And on the theme of physical violence, I thought someone was clickbaiting today on the headbutt heard around the world, because when I first watched it, it looked like he hit the brim of his hat more than like full blown face headbutt. I went back and I commented right away, and I was like, oh boy, I messed up on this one. He like straight headbutted that ref in that Michigan. I can't believe they didn't throw him out of that game. But Ryan Day finally got the monkey off of his back, but that was crazy. That guy didn't get thrown out of the game.
I don't know if that was an actual. I mean, if you
contact, I don't know.
There was contact, but a headbutt is much more violent. And the other thing is, did you see they were just in a? I'm not there. You should not touch a ref, but you're in a scuffle with an Ohio State player. There was a scuffle that was ensuing, and then a ref comes up behind him, and like. I don't know. Like, I wonder if he thought that was an Ohio State player or something, because it looked way too intense to be acting towards a ref. But I don't know. I feel like Ohio State was blowing that out of the water. I don't condone laying a hand on a ref, but it just seemed, I don't know. It seemed a little overblown. What do you think, Duff?
Yeah, I mean, I think in like kind of similar to the Egg Bowl, these certain games are going to pull things out of both these teams, especially Ohio State, Michigan. That I think you have to give a little leeway to these guys. And I think for Ohio State to try to go crucify this kid all over the internet, because he's into the rivalry that you also want your guys to be into, is a little bit crazy. He obviously shouldn't have touched him, but like you said, he could have easily thought that's an Ohio State guy grabbing him back there.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, in the end, I'm glad they didn't throw him out of the game. I don't know where he ranks on Michigan's, better players or not, but you hate to see somebody get thrown out that early in the game for something like you said, Book. I think he was trying to show him what Ohio State guys were doing, but nonetheless, typically they make contact with the ref, and it's going to be. You could tell in how they announced this is his first penalty towards being ejected, unsportsmanlike. I was like, oh, they are ready to throw this guy out if he does anything else. But, it was interesting. Overall, though, I thought it was – I mean, you had said earlier, Book, like Ohio State better win this game by double digits, and they brought out the belts on Michigan today in the snow. So I think that monkey's officially, laid to rest.
And congrats to, I do want to say, I do not like Ohio State at all. Like, they're one of my least favorite teams on the planet. But, Ryan Day and his coaching staff standing at the at center field there when his players came over to plant a flag and said, no, we're not doing that. We're going inside, go to the locker room. We won. I do have respect for that. That was the right move, even though, with everything in the pepper spray that was deployed last year during that game. And so good on Ryan Day for keeping things as classy as possible, with Jeremiah Smith flipping off the entire student section during a touchdown. But I will digress once again.
We digress.
Yeah, I'll keep it.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll keep it with Ohio State again. I think that confirmed. I've been an Ohio State skeptic all year because I didn't think Texas was that good, to be honest with you. And I was like, that's their one win,
Yeah.
But I think Michigan's a pretty good football team, and I'm a lot more confident in Ohio State now. I think they are who everyone has been saying they are. We'll get a little bit more of that confirmation next week. They play Indiana, but I think either way, that outcome isn't going to mean a ton.
Yeah.
So, what do y'all think about Ohio State? You think they're really the best team in the country by a wide margin, like everyone's saying they are? Or?
It's hard to say they're not. It's hard to say they're not. I mean, they beat Texas. I'm curious to see how Indiana, they're the second-ranked scoring defense in the country behind Ohio State. But I was trying to pull up their schedule. Indiana hasn't really had a major test, so I'm curious how good that defense actually is against a big physical team like Ohio State. So, yeah, I mean, there's some good SEC teams, but this isn't like – I feel like it's a more well-balanced SEC. There's not like a juggernaut. I mean, Georgia's pretty good. Texas A&M is pretty good. Alabama's pretty good. I think Ohio State probably is the clear-cut number one team in the country. But, hey, if Indiana comes in there and beats them, then, look out for Indiana as well.
Yeah, I agree, and I hate to say it because I am an SEC guy. I'd love to see Georgia or Alabama or A&M against Ohio State to see how they actually pan out. Texas early on this season, that was not a good litmus test to see how good Ohio State was. Texas was all out of sorts. Arch Manning wasn't sure if he was putting his helmet on frontwards or backwards. It just wasn't a good test. But moving forward here, yeah, we'll see what happens against Indiana, and then they'll obviously be meeting some teams in other conferences and hopefully some SEC teams to see how good they really are, because I am a bit of an SEC homer. So speaking of SEC, let's talk about, I'm a Tennessee Volunteers fan. Today, the Vandy Commodores whipped up on my Tennessee Volunteers. Diego Pavia threw for 268 yards, and he also ran for 165. What do you guys think about Diego Pavia in the Heisman race when you have guys like Julian Sayin, you have guys like Fernando Mendoza? Do you think he belongs in that conversation? Do you think that he's just where do you think he belongs? Is he going to be in New York? Does he have a shot at winning?
Yeah, go ahead, Duffy. I'm looking up some stats on him right now, but why don't you take us away first?
I think he has no shot of winning. I think he has an okay shot to get there because I think they won't give the defensive guys that they should have nod to get there. And I think he's probably the third quarterback option behind Sayin and Mendoza. But, yeah, I really don't – he has no real chance to win it behind those two guys, and I don't think he deserves the invite, but I think he will get it.
Do you think – and we'll get to you, Kevin – Jeremiah Love, Diego Pavia?
Jeremiah Love.
You see, I'm Diego Pavia on that. On better player, but it does come down. I'd have to look up their statistics too. It's not just a statistics award, but I mean, him taking Vandy to what the heck is their record here? I'm trying to find it.
10-2, and I believe it is the first time
that
they've ever been 10-2.
That means something to me. Jeremiah Smith has put up some crazy numbers this year, and
Jeremiah Love.
No, Jeremiah Smith.
Oh,
were you saying Jeremiah Love or?
I said Jeremiah Love or Diego Pavia,
you.
but Jeremiah Smith is worth. There's two Jeremiahs that are studs.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I just think either of those guys, they're going to probably give it to a quarterback. I don't think they've had an excessively amazing year compared to others. Ginty should have gotten it last year, but he didn't because he's a running back, and they just don't seem to want to give it away to a running back. But I think what he's done with that Vandy team but his stats aren't quite. I looked up. I think he's got 34 touchdowns on the year, which is not. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not Jaden Daniels' 50 touchdowns where you can win it without being on like one of the top 3 teams in the country. So I think it's probably down to Sayin and Mendoza. I heard something earlier where it was like the Ohio State game is for the number 1, or the Big Ten championship is for the number 1 seed, the Heisman, and the Big Ten title all in one. So I think that probably ranged true as those guys having an extra game to prove themselves that they deserve it. So that's probably, I think, where they'll go. But he should be there. I think he should be there.
Yeah. He'll need a stool, but he will be there.
I don't need a stool. All right. Let's do a couple more storylines before we jump into previewing the championship game. I'm going to go ACC. So I'll show you this ridiculous graphic that we have on the ACC championship scenarios. But what a whirlwind in the ACC it's been this year. Like Florida State was the team when they beat Bama. Then Miami's had their ups and downs. The Virginia field storming, and now it looks like SMU was supposed to come out of nowhere, but now they're down 10 points. You know, if they win, they're in the ACC title game, I think. So just the ACC has been insane this year. I have enjoyed looking up the scenarios, and I'm not going to be able to quote them, exactly, but the scenarios where maybe their ACC champion doesn't make it into the college football playoff, they would clearly riot if that happened. But I wouldn't hate them putting Texas in over an ACC champion that like would probably get boat raced by Texas. But I don't think the committee will do it. But instead, I mean, we talked Texas, Notre Dame. Do you think Texas over an ACC championship, would they have the stones to actually do something like that?
Nah, they're not going to have the stones to do it, but they should.
Yeah, but they should, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Miami's the best team, but go ahead, Duff.
I think there are a couple of teams in the ACC that could compete. I think Miami, I think SMU actually, and Virginia, and actually Georgia Tech maybe too. They just played Georgia close, but
yeah,
it's just the middle and bottom half of that conference is not near what it is in the Big Ten and the SEC. So,
yeah.
Well, any
Agreed.
final storylines you guys want to hit on before we keep it moving here?
I do want to. I know we got to keep track of time here. I did want to touch real quick on. I look at Texas Tech, and I did just a little shout out to myself, toot my own little horn here, that I picked them to win the Big 12 at the beginning of the year. But Texas Tech at number 5 is hard for me to swallow. I know that they're playing well, and they do have a couple quality wins here. I'm not looking at. I don't have their. I probably should have brought that up before I started talking about it, but what do you guys think about them being like top 5, Texas Tech?
Go ahead.
I think they deserve top 5, and I've been to Lubbock on a game day. I've got some family that goes there, and for the sake of the visiting team, I hope that Texas Tech gets a first-round bye and no one has to go there, because it's one of the most – I've been in some crazy environments. That's one where people could legitimately get hurt. But, yeah, I think they deserve top 5. I think depending on how the SEC shakes out, they might end up in a top 4. So it'll be interesting to see. I think they stack up well against a lot of the playoff teams, honestly. Normally, you think Big 12, you think just offense, zero defense. They've got, I think, really one of the best defenses in the country. So it'll be interesting when they play a real – or not a real opponent, but an opponent from a better conference and see how that defense stacks up.
Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kent State, Oregon State. They played Utah, then Houston, Kansas, Arizona State, Oklahoma State, Kansas State. I think BYU is the biggest dub there. But then UCF and West Virginia. To me, the one loss at Arizona State, even with that resume, top 5 is like, that's hard. I think that you have Texas against Texas Tech, and it's a drubbing. Like Longhorns are all over them. I
think Texas Tech would be able to hang with Texas because of their defense. I think that defensive line would give Arch Manning fits. I haven't watched a ton of Texas Tech games this year, but the couple that I have, their defense has been all over the quarterback that they've been playing. And so I think where I go is the last 2 games, 48-9, 49-0. They're not playing around with these teams that are clearly worse than them. They're beating them handily. And so that to me shows like, hey, this is a good team. If it was 21-20 against West Virginia, I'd be like, all right, maybe they're not that. But at 11-1, if they beat BYU, I think they deserve a top 5. They deserve the bye. I'd feel
that BYU rematch there.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be a good one. Yeah.
That's a good. Yeah, go ahead.
That ASU game really, honestly, doesn't worry me much about that football team. They held ASU to 26. That was a massive game for ASU because they were coming off a skid. They just lost. I forget who they just lost to. They needed a win, and you get Texas Tech rolling in there with their backup quarterback who has 0 starts in his career. Yeah. It's not an easy place to play. I can live with them losing that game, and still have them in the top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ASU's a dangerous team. Levitt, Tyson. I think they were my prediction for the Big 12, and that clearly didn't work out. But they can score, and they could play with anybody on any given week. But sorry, Booker, I think I cut you off there. You had one more thing?
No, you're good. I'm interested in seeing. I mean, obviously they're in the playoff, even if they lose to BYU. But how far do they fall? And BYU is probably in, right? Because BYU is kind of on the bubble a little bit.
Yeah.
BYU is a win, and they have a decent chance.
I think they were the first team out coming into today. So
yeah, that's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
I'm almost looking forward to that one, almost as much as I'm looking forward to the Big Ten.
Yeah, absolutely. How's that Auburn versus Alabama game going? You got any updates for us there, Duff, or still blowout?
Yeah, Auburn got another field goal. They're down 11.5. So I don't know who receives. Auburn receives. So they go down and get a score. It's a 1-possession game.
Yeah.
The Iron Bowl, baby.
Yeah,
I did have someone. I was watching Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the announcer for Minnesota, Wisconsin was like, "Man, Minnesota, Wisconsin, snow on the field. It does not get any better than this game right here." And I was like, "Oh, what's going on?"
Love it.
Anyway,
all right, let's go ahead and jump into our championship week predictions preview. We'll pick-ish these games, but like we said at the beginning, this is, we're waiting for 5 of the 6, and I did find us some research. So I believe it's the G5 is the official, and if you say G6, you're including the Pac-2, which I think you shouldn't do if there's a 2-person conference. My question with that, I don't know if it was a storyline or a championship game, but do they give a trophy out to the Pac-2? Like, they're not actually having a championship game, but do they do like a gold medal and a silver medal, or how does that work out there for the Pac-2? But that's the G5, G6 we talked about last week.
I mean, it's the Pacific Northwest. It's possible they're handing out medals for both those teams.
Yeah. And they should be back next year, right? Like North Texas is going to the Pac, whatever they're going to call it. Like they are stocking up with more teams. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Like
I think it'll be a 6-pack or something next year.
I think.
Yeah. So
honestly, I know we're talking football right now, but that conference is going to be loaded with college baseball. They picked up some great baseball programs, so it'll be fun to watch in the spring.
You heard it here. Some off-season college baseball talk coming down the pike here. So
love it.
Join us in here around. All right, let's get into these championship games. We talked about it a little bit. Indiana versus Ohio State, neutral field, number 1 defense versus number 2 defense in the country, Heisman hopefuls. Who do we think wins this game? What's going to be the keys here? It's, the narrative of Ryan Day can't win the big one, can't come through in the clutch. Like, those are clearly not true anymore. And so one thing I heard in the broadcast today before you guys take it is the mentality that Ohio State had last year to get to that championship after losing to Oregon, all that they went through, like those players have carried that through this year. And so Ohio State looks not only the talent that they have, but the mentality that they're playing with, the ability of, they've got like a 3 or 4-headed monster at running back. I'm very curious to see how this game shakes out, if Indiana is a legit contender. But who you guys taking? What do you think the key to victory is here for Indiana?
Give me Ohio State. I hate to say it. I think that Ohio State has the clearest path, and that they're just going to have a bad game, and the opponent is going to have the game of their life in order to get past these guys. So Indiana is a solid, and an incredible team. I just don't see Ohio State is loaded at every level, and then the next guy up is just as loaded, and so between the defensive line, the offensive line, protecting Sand. He's slinging the ball all over the place. Carnell Tate looks good. He's back and healthy. Jeremiah Smith is back and healthy. They're a freight train. And so Indiana's going to have to disrupt and get to Sand if they want any shot at all. I would be so happy and pleasantly surprised if Indiana got this, but I'm taking Ohio State here, and I think it's probably 21-17.
Duffy, what do you think?
I'm going to go Ohio State too. Before today, I would have told you Indiana. But I think, especially with the way they did battle through a little adversity this morning too, you go on the road, you go down, you turn it over early, and then they come back and just, really run them out of their own building.
Mm-hmm.
I just think all my doubts have been removed about Ohio State, so I think they're going to come by. But I do think it'll be competitive, and I think it'll be low scoring, kind of like what you said, around that 40-ish total points around there. Ohio State wins by 2 or 3, somewhere in there.
Not even to be dramatic or be the guy taking the other side. I am curious, does Ohio State have a little bit of a setback with all of the emotional buildup of the Michigan game? You couldn't beat Michigan. So much energy, playing in the snow. That could be the only way I see is, hey, do they have a little bit of an emotional letdown where Indiana is hungry to prove, hey, we didn't show up last year. We brought in the right people this year to prove it. So, I don't think it's going to be a shootout just because of how good these defenses are. So I like the low scoring, but give me Indiana to sneak out a victory here some way. I just Mendoza, Signetti, they got the secret sauce, man. So and maybe that's more with my heart hoping that Indiana wins because I don't like Ohio State, but nonetheless, it should be an awesome game. So
I hope you're right, man.
All right, let's talk. We just were mentioning this BYU versus Texas. Neutral site, obviously that helped Texas Tech the first time that they played, and BYU's look good. They've looked good since that game. They won big today. What are we thinking? Can BYU hang around? I think last time they played, Bear looked like a freshman. Is he going to look better this time around? Duffy, who are you taking in this game?
I'm going to take Texas Tech. And I think an interesting part, it is neutral site, but unless the Big 12's changed that this year, it's in Dallas.
Yeah.
And so it's a neutral site, but that stadium's going to be pretty packed full of Texas Tech fans. So I don't think that'll play a super large role in tampering Texas Tech down. But yeah, I'm gonna go Texas Tech to beat them twice, which is sometimes rare in conference championship games. But I'll take them. I believe them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who you got?
I actually I'm going to pull for Texas Tech. I think what you just said is key, though, Duff. Like beating the same team twice when the second game is a conference championship, that is really tough to do. Bear Bachmeier the last time they met up did not look good. They got to him. He was rushed. He was off his game. He wasn't able to get the ball to his playmakers. I think they're going to adjust. I think that BYU is a solid team and they're going to adjust. I think BYU actually takes this one, but I am pulling for Texas Tech. Give me 28-24 BYU.
Yeah. I like that. If they're going to win, BYU is going to have to run the ball. LJ Martin the last 2 games, 6.9. He had 222 yards against Cincinnati, another 95 today, 5 touchdowns in the last 2 games. Like I think that's the sauce, having a young quarterback. You got to be able to run the ball against this Texas Tech team. If it's Bear, Bachmeier, drop it back 45 times to throw it, I don't think it's going to end well for BYU. So I think Texas Tech is just a really good team. I'm taking them as well to win this game. So
realize that I just picked BYU when at the beginning of the season I said Texas Tech wins the Big 12. So that's how much you can trust them.
Yeah. All right, so let's go SEC title game. Again, I wish we had exact science here. It's looking like Alabama is winning. It's looking like we'll have Alabama, Georgia because, death taxes and Alabama, Georgia in the SEC championship game. Maybe Auburn, pulls out another kick 6 miracle here and can send Lane Kiffin to the championship game. But let's just say Alabama versus Georgia. I think that's a safe bet. Both of these teams are pretty hungry, I would say, as they're not getting quite the notoriety or the buzz this year, which both of their coaches probably love that. It takes some of the pressure off. Georgia looks like a really good team. 10-1, and people just don't really like. I think it's because Gunnar Stockton is not like a spectacular quarterback. They're just not. The defense isn't as A+ as it's been in the past, but it's still. I mean, it's Georgia. They got 5 stars all around. So Georgia versus Alabama. Who do you think it wins in this one, Booker? Who you got?
Give me Georgia. And actually, if Alabama ends up losing this evening and Ole Miss gets in, give me Georgia. I just trust them more. Alabama has been. If Alabama's the one that gets in, Ty Simpson has been turning the ball over a little bit more these past couple weeks. I think he only had 2 interceptions leading up to last week, and he's thrown several since. He seems like he's off his game. And their rushing attack just hasn't been what it's been in the past. So they're quite one dimensional. And so give me Georgia because they're able to run the ball. They also have, I don't know, is it like 12 or 13 running backs that are 5-star there? I joke a little bit, but they have 2 or 3 that are solid. And their defense has not been as stout, but they are still solid. So give me them. And if Ole Miss makes it, there's too much going on in that locker room for them to be able to play the kind of ball they need to play to beat Georgia. So give me Georgia either way. I'm going to go 31-28.
I'll take it next. This is interesting. So when they played, it was 24-21 Georgia. That was obviously a home game for the Bulldogs. I'm just curious. I mean, we talked about it that week on the show of the styles make fights. It's just this weird statistic that Georgia often loses to Alabama. And I think most of that has been in the regular season. They fared a little better in the playoffs in these SEC championship games. But I think there's something to that of just for whatever reason, certain teams just play better against other teams. The Ty Simpson turn the ball over is interesting because he was so good at not turning it over earlier in the season. But I think I'm leaning your direction as well, where I don't know if it's going to matter whether it's Ole Miss. I feel more confident if it's Ole Miss that Georgia will beat them. If it's Alabama, then I could see, hey, maybe Alabama plays better against Georgia than Ole Miss would. So Duffy, what do you think on that?
Yeah, I think Georgia can handle Alabama. I think kind of similar to what we said in the Big 12, just I don't have the same confidence in Alabama as I do Texas Tech to go beat them twice. But my opinion on Ole Miss if they get there is entirely dependent on if Lane coaches or not. So
yeah,
I think if Lane coaches, I think they have a really good shot. If not, I think it's going to kind of like Booker said, just that locker room's going to have a lot going on. So I guess we'll see there.
Yeah. Well, we might need a midweek show on that, but for now. So let's touch on ACC.
Yeah, let's go ahead and touch on that.
You might have to squint on this. We could have a 5-way tie, and I'll have to tag them in this when we post the show, but just an incredible graphic there of like you zoom in on that thing, and it's like all the different, it's like just a play on the scenarios in the ACC right now, which feels so accurate on what is going on. Miami's the best team, but their path to the championship in the playoffs is not that great. SMU, they should win tonight. They're not. Virginia, do we know that Virginia score?
Yeah, it's a 24-0 Virginia in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's a drubbing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Virginia will be in. They've got to be the odds-on favorite depending on who shows up. But I mean, it could be Duke, it could be Miami. So that one. I mean, any thoughts on the ACC championship game? Do we feel confident in Virginia, or who do you think is the even though we don't know who's playing, who do you have the most confidence in?
I think I wish the path for Miami was a little clearer. I think they are the best team in the ACC. Virginia, they've just kind of hung around the upper half of the top 25 all year, and they've played well. It's hard for me to get on board Virginia football at the moment. But it seems like their path is a little clearer. They have a little more control over their destiny than Miami does. So give me Virginia. If Miami makes it, if there's a way for Miami to make it, I do think Miami is the better team, but give me Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. So Miami lost to SMU, lost to Louisville, didn't play Virginia. So it'll be interesting. I think their quarterback, Chandler Morris, he's having a heck of a year, and he's a ball player. He can spin it for sure. And, I think they should be able to put up points. But it'll be be curious to see if they play an SEC team in the first round of the playoffs. They might be like, shoot, we should have put Texas in here because, Texas A&M or Alabama or any of these teams I think would have their way with Virginia, and even Miami, I'm not sure talent-wise they should be able to compete in the playoffs, but when you got Carson Beck throwing 4 interceptions in a game, I'm not even sure if he would be able to bring his best stuff. Now, if it's Carson Beck, you've got if they get Georgia in the first round, then that's an interesting storyline, but nonetheless, I don't know if I'm confident in any of these teams. I guess I like Virginia and Chandler Morris, and that the crowd storming was awesome. But other than that, I'm not that confident in any of these teams. How about you, Duffy?
I know they're losing right now, but I really like SMU. I don't know how the tiebreakers will work out if they end up dropping this one to Cal. But I actually would be pretty confident in SMU, Miami, or Georgia Tech, any of those 3 against Virginia. So I'm going to I'm going to predict whoever comes out of that and hope one of my 3 comes out on top of those tiebreakers.
There we go. We'll clip that exact part, and then we'll be all set. So, anyways, all right, you guys. We'll appreciate you both. Duffy, as always, good having you on to talk some college football. Happy birthday. Drop a comment at HTX Ball Co. Happy birthday to you. And, go enjoy your evening celebrating with the fam or whatever you got planned. But, again, appreciate you having you on the show and taking some time out of your birthday to spend with us. So have a good one, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, absolutely. No. Catch you there. Man, time flies.
Time does fly. We'll be able to get through this next part. These next parts a little quicker. We're missing Alo and Tyler tonight, so just the 2 of us. But we'll jump into some Alo's A team and some predictions. So, any other thoughts you have?
You're not going to be as good of an Alo as Alo.
I'm definitely not as good of an Alo as Alo, but I'll try. I'll do my best. But these are his official picks, so we will not change them one.
And he's been on fire, so there's no reason to doubt him.
That's right. Well, that's the thing. So we're going to jump in here. So last week we had Brock Purdy, Jamison Williams, Hunter Henry, Andre Iosifos. I think we said that was the way to pronounce that, and David Montgomery. I will say the interesting thing, though, is so Jamison Williams, the week that we predicted, 0.0 points. The next week on Thanksgiving, which was a couple days ago, 26.9. So that is the Jamison Williams experience of you bench him, he's going to go off. You start him, there's a chance Jahmyr Gibbs and that was the Jahmyr Gibbs nuclear game. So he kind of, it was a tough round here having 2 Detroit Lions, and then Gibbs is the one who takes all the points. But anyway, let's jump right in. So first up, we've got Brenton Strange, and we'll just go into Jahmyr Duke. I don't know how you say his name, but we'll try it. Strange back off of injury. He can play. I think he had 14 points the previous week. Like in our sit start on Sunday mornings, a lot of people were asking about him, and I think the Jaguars have been trying to find pass catchers with Travis Hunter down. BTJ has not had as great of a season. So, I like Strange to continue to eat across the middle of the field for Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars this week. And then Jahmyr, we made our rookie videos, and he's popped up a couple times. This past week, he had a punt return touchdown, and he's had a couple touchdowns throughout the year. So he's got that connection with Cam Ward. We thought earlier in the season that what's the guy, Iomeyer?
Oh yeah,
Iomeyer. Yeah.
Iomeyer.
He was scoring a lot of touchdowns. I thought he had that connection with Cam Ward, but Jahmyr seems to be the guy with that connection in Tennessee. So what do you think about those first 2? Any thoughts on the Jags or the Titans? Again, it's hard to have but so much confidence in a Titan or a Jaguar, but what are your thoughts on those 2?
Yeah, I mean, for the Jaguars, they're missing some guys, and so safety valves are always helpful to have. And so Strange is a decent play there. And then DK, I think if I were to if I could only roster one Titan to continue to grow with Cam Ward and have some production along the way, it's definitely Jahmyr DK. So I actually like both of those. I've got DK on one of my teams, and I'm starting them because I didn't last week, and that was a mistake. So.
Yeah. So DK is the official pronunciation, and I should have checked that before.
It's the only appropriate one I can think of. So
okay, good. All right, let's Let's move along here. We've got RJ Harvey, Darnell Mooney, and Tyrod Taylor, our next three. RJ Harvey, self-explanatory. I believe oh man, I'm come on. The name is right there, but it's been a long day. So the Broncos starter, he's out, I believe, this week. And RJ Harvey, he's getting more and more opportunities. Incredible talent at UCF. He really did an amazing job for them in college. Darnell Mooney, I believe Kirk Cousins is starting this week. And so it seems like Mooney and Kirk Cousins just have that connection. Drake London, I believe, is still on IR. So, yeah, we'd like Mooney to continue to eat for the Falcons. Kirk Cousins playing for another $100 million contract. So, of course, he's going to feed his guy. And then final there, we got Tyrod Taylor for the Jets. It's hard to trust some of these teams this week. It's hard to trust the Jets. But Tyrod he's that engine that could, man. He just keeps going, and you can trust him to get you 12 to 19 points. I don't know if he's going to go for 40, 30 even. He's not running as much as a young Tyrod would, but I think he has a decent day, a productive NFL quarterback. I like Tyrod a little more as like a quarterback too in a super flex, but if you got guys on bye this week, I think Tyrod can slot in there and put up some points for you. So any thoughts on that? Those last three guys?
I love RJ Harvey. Definitely fire up RJ Harvey. And then like you said, with Darnell Mooney, he's had a 14% target share this season, but this is the second game that Drake London will be out, and with Cousins being in there, that just suggests some better chemistry. So I think that Mooney's a great play. And Tyrod Taylor, how could you go wrong with an ex-Bill?
Absolutely. All right. I'm not sure why it's doing some funky things there on the side, but we're just going to keep this moving. So let's go. It was at this exact stage last week that it was tripping out like this. So let's try this. We're getting it. We've had much worse. That kind of actually works with
Auburn just scored, by the way.
Okay. There we go.
Just wanted to throw that out there where you're figuring that out. Auburn.
No, I appreciate you on that. So let's actually, I think I see it now. Yeah, no, that's not work. Wow, just like a glove, man. There, and then we're going to go here. We're going to go there. We're going to go with this. Wow, like a glove, man. It's just not. Come on. All right. For those of you, wow. I thought I had that figured out, but it didn't. So those of you watching in the vertical, you will see the teams. Those of you watching in the horizontal, you will not. So that's what I got for you. Well, we're short on time, and we're gonna talk
about the team, so it's just fine.
That's right. All right. So first up, we've got the Browns versus the 49ers. The Browns have been good to me this year. I'm nervous to even say this because that just feels like the time that I proclaimed this can be the best show ever, and it was like a complete train wreck. But let's go. Sorry, I'm just trying to find one thing here. You're like, dude, I got to get going here, man. I can't be taking all your.
No, you're fine. While you're doing that, so I see the spread. It looks like San Francisco is -5.5 with a total over under of 34.5. I'm just going to go ahead and make my pick real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm going to take the Browns. I think that I'm not a big Shedeur Sanders fan, but I think that he does give some juice to that offense. And Judkins is a stud. This game is in Cleveland, Ohio. There's no roof on that field. And today in college football in that part of the world, there's been some weather. And so I don't know that the San Francisco 49ers are ready for what the Cleveland weather has for them. And Shedeur is going to give them just enough to I don't think that it's possible that 49ers don't win or end up winning, but I think that they don't cover. So give me the Browns.
Yeah. And I promise this is going to be my last rabbit trail. I'm trying to pull up Alo's picks too. So I'm going to go ahead and blame Alo for this one while we finish this. So Alo's got the 49ers winning, covering the 4.5. I'm going to take the Browns. Shedeur Sanders, he's just got, I don't know. I feel like the boys are playing better. Not that he played amazing last week, but I think the Browns at least cover, and I wouldn't be shocked if they snuck away with a win here. That defense is legit. Like, they have a Super Bowl winning defense and a offense that can't figure it out. So that's just an interesting combo. But I do think just seeing how excited Myles Garrett was to see a quarterback throw the ball downfield, like, I think those boys are going to be playing this week. So give me the Browns a cover and probably sneak out a win here at home. Maybe some inclement weather there in Cleveland. So, all right, let's move along. Mr. Diesel, hope you're doing all right tonight. We'll go with your Colts and Texans. We got the Colts favored by 3 points at home. Lucas Oil coming off a loss, right? Colts coming off of a loss.
Colts coming off a loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, sir.
This is a big game here for the division. Who do we like in this one? Actually, we'll start with Alo on this one, then you can take it away from there. He's got the Texans. He's taking the Texans to cover. Didn't say whether he's going to take them to win, but he does think it'll stay close. I'm going to take the Colts. They've been good to us this year. They win and cover a lot. I know it's been a little bit of that Daniel Jones, man, with the leg. Like, I should look
at
up.
Bad. He looked bad. I don't know if you saw that video of him dropping back in practice. He's like,
that's not good, man. And I saw something like that's coaching malpractice. So they let him. I don't know how bad their backups would have to be to trot him out there, but they must be pretty bad if that's what you're gonna on a broken leg. He's gonna go out there and give it a try. Like, that just feels like a terrible idea. Just send a backup out there to hand it off 45 times. So give me the Texans. I don't know what the Colts are doing with Daniel Jones, but that doesn't seem like the move. Who you got in this one?
Give me the Texans as well. They are back. The Texans are back in playoff discussion because of their suffocating defense. And so with the issues with that Colts offense, I have a feeling maybe they take the foot off the gas a little bit because they are in the division lead and get some health back. So the Texans are in a prime place to take this one. Give me the Texans.
All right, we got Rams versus Panthers at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. This one will be quick. It is interesting, the 10-point spread. And a lot of times these lines move earlier in the week. So this one started out at like 10 and a half. I was like, oh, it's going to come down a little bit. And I checked it again. It's like, nope, still at 10. Like, Vegas is very confident in the Rams. So am I. And Alo, we both taken the Rams to win and cover those points, which then you have you nervous of like, okay, that's not an easy cover, but that's a lot of points for an NFL team. But the Rams look pretty much unstoppable right now. Who are you taking in this one?
Yeah, that's a huge line. I'm going to go Rams as well. They do just look elite on both sides of the ball, and the Panthers have struggled. So yeah, give me the Rams.
All right, let's go Bills versus Steelers. This is your guys here. Bills favored by 3 points on the road in Pittsburgh. Why don't you start us with this one?
Give me the Bills because I love the Bills. But Josh Allen, 18 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. He's just not the same. He's not MVP Josh Allen this year. But give me the Bills to take the win here. They are still better than the Steelers, in my opinion. And so
yeah,
it's just hard to watch, man, as a Bills fan. But give me the Bills.
And the Bills I think the Bills are going to make the playoffs unless colossal letdown. But there is a scenario where Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen are not in the playoffs. That's insane. Like that
is insane.
That is insane.
And Daniel Jones is.
Daniel Jones is So, I mean, this should be the year for Josh Allen to get to the Super Bowl or to win it. But I'm going to take the Bills need this game. They need to beat a good quality team on the road and reprove that, hey, they are indeed that squad. So give me Josh Allen, whether Rodgers plays or not. I don't think it's going to matter. I think the Bills, they have the talent. They just got to put it together. So give me the Bills. All right, let's move along here. Broncos versus Commanders. This game is in D.C. Looks like 5.5 points for the Broncos on the road. This is Sunday Night Football. Yeah, it comes down to Jaden Daniels, but he's not playing, right? Is he out? He's out.
He's out. Yep.
Yeah. Give me the Broncos. They're going to cover. Anything can happen any given Sunday. So sure, the Commanders could come in there, or the Broncos. They've played a lot of one-score games. They've had a lot of close wins in the end. But even if it's close, I think I trust the Broncos to pull it out more in the end, where I don't trust, Marcus Mariota and whatever's going over there for the Commanders to win this game in prime time. They were hoping for Jaden Daniels versus Bo Nix, and we get depleted Commanders versus the Broncos. So I'm taking the Broncos. Alo has the Broncos 5.5, or the 5.5 to cover. So who are you taking in this one?
Yeah, give me the Broncos with Jaden Daniels out, and the Commanders are just they're a bit of a dumpster fire. So yeah, give me the Broncos on this one.
Yeah. All right, and then Monday Night Football, a real barn burner here. We got the Giants. Jackson Dart, screaming hot Giants. Oh, wait, he's out. Or no, he is back. He is back. This is his first game back, right? Against the Patriots in Foxborough, 7 points. We're going to start with Alo on this one. He's got the Giants to 7 points, so he's really leaning into the Jackson Dart effect coming back. But Jameis was putting up some points. He was looking all right. So I just think this Patriots defense is good, but they are a little banged up with injuries. So I will be curious to see if this is closer than the 7, but give me New England at home. No matter who their running back is, this team is looking really good. And I think they battle through the injuries and get the win and cover here against New York. Who are you taking?
Yeah, give me New England as well. Their offensive line is pretty banged up. And Dart, it looks like, is going to be trying to come back. Did you confirm that he is?
Yeah, I was pretty sure I saw that he was practicing and gonna, because it was just a concussion. So he missed one game. Usually it's like at most you'll miss one game if you're out with a concussion. So he should be back on this one.
Yeah, the Patriots are just too much for the Giants. So even if Jackson Dart has a decent game and he's feeling 100%, I still am taking the Pats here. They haven't lost in 2 months, so give me the Pats.
Yeah. That's a scary than pick of like, okay, when's that gonna come fall through the cracks or something like that? But
not against the 2-10 Giants.
That's right. Any given Sunday, man. All righty. Well, again, we appreciate you guys taking time out of your day. New time. We posted an announcement on X today, but we're pushing the show back an hour. Family things, different things. So we will be 6 p.m. Pacific will be our new time for at least the near future, foreseeable future. But yeah, give us a subscribe on YouTube. Follow on X. Again, HTX Balco, Mr. Diesel, Alo. Special thanks to all the walk-ons that were on tonight as well, all the way from Brazil. It's not looking good for Auburn. We have a final update on that score before we sign off here. Looking like 17-13. So Auburn is making a little bit of a comeback here in the third quarter. So this should be an interesting finish to that game. I look forward to watching that one. But you have a good rest of your weekend, my friend.
Thank you as well. Thanks, everybody. And thanks for the walk-ons and HTX Balco.
Bye.